All right, let's turn now to a current event happening this weekend in Davenport. The Truth First Film Alliance is screening the documentary Oscar Micheaux, the Superhero of Black Filmmaking. This Sunday at the Last Picture House, there will be a virtual Q&A with historian Jordan Bell from Roanoke, Virginia. Then at 4:15, they're showing Micheaux's 1920 silent movie, Within Our Gates. This is actually the first time either of these films has been shown in the Quad City, and it's all free to the public. So joining us now is Kelly Rundle, co-executive director of the Truth First Film Alliance. Kelly, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
You know, it's really incredible that this is the first time this is happening because Micheaux was born in Illinois.
He was born in Illinois, and he started his publishing and film production business in Sioux City, Iowa. So he definitely has those Midwestern connections.
Right. Give us a sense, because in case people have never heard this name or understand who he is, give us a sense of his story and how he became known as the filmmaker that he's known to be.
Well, his father was born in Kentucky in slavery, and after the Civil War, his family moved to Metropolis, Illinois, which is where he was born. And he went from there to working out of Chicago, and he was a Pullman porter. And so traveling the Midwest on the rails, working on the railroads, he learned a lot about life, beyond Metropolis, and made his way to South Dakota, where he was a homesteader for a period of time. And then his first novel, and in fact his first film, was about that experience, homesteading in South Dakota.
Give us a sense of his impact on filmmaking, because the title of the documentary is The Superhero of Black Filmmaking. He really had an impact on filmmaking broadly.
Yes, this was an era, the silent era, the very beginnings of filmmaking. So people were inventing the film language that we use now as we construct films visually. But particularly challenging for a black person to enter that business and be successful at it. And he made what film people who examine film history call race films. So he was developing black stories for black audiences. And he wrote the films, he directed the films, he produced the films, and he distributed the films. He was the ultimate do-it-yourselfer.
Yeah, truly independent. And those films really had a different tone than other films at the time when it came to depicting black characters. Isn't that right?
Yeah, so he, like many people black people, did not like The Birth of a Nation, the film by D.W. Griffith, which portrayed black people very poorly, in a very bad light. And so his film, Within Our Gates, the second film that we'll be showing, was his response to that, and portraying a very different life that black people were living in that era.
Tell us about the documentary that you're screening before that film.
So the documentary was directed by an Italian director, Francisco Zippel, and the documentary tells the story of his life. And lots of people that folks would know are in the film, interviewed about Micheaux's influence on their work. And I think for people that he was a person who just did a thing. If he wanted to do it, he just figured out how to do it and did it. And that's an inspiration to anybody who's involved in filmmaking.
The film that you're screening, it strikes me as particularly significant because Homesteaders was his first film, right?
Yes.
That's been lost at this point, right?
Yeah, so we don't know the exact number, but between 75% and 90% of silent films, all silent films, American silent films, have been lost.
Okay.
So Within Our Gates, the film that we're showing, was thought to have been lost, was found in a cut of it or a version of it in Spain, and it was restored by the Library of Congress in the early 90s, I think. So it is rare to be able to see almost any silent film in a theater, but this would be the rarest of the rare,
right.
I would say.
If someone is not used to that type of film watching, how do we entice people to come watch this?
Well, I think we're going to hopefully entice people by telling them the story of this incredible man's life and work, and there'll be some clips from the film in the documentary, and it is something that. If you've never watched a silent film, it is a brand new experience. So I guess you don't know if you like it until you try it. But
yeah.
But telling a story virtually visually without there is some dialogue, of course, but just a few cards that provide dialogue. So it's largely a visual medium.
Yeah, I always found it that I have to focus a lot more, and it causes me to pay attention to the film a lot more.
Pay attention, yep.
Keep out my own thoughts and really see what the filmmaker's trying to convey.
And of course, silent films were never silent. There was always someone playing a piano or something, and this film does have a music soundtrack as well.
Okay, very last quick question. What do people know if they want to attend?
Well, it's Sunday, March 22nd, 2 o'clock p.m. at the Last Picture House. And we have the speaker that will be zooming in to discuss. He's from Roanoke, Virginia, which is where Micheaux lived for a few years. And then we'll move into the silent movie section.
Very nice. Should be fun, should be educational. Kelly, thanks so much for taking the time today.
Thank you.
All right. If you want to share this story, you can. You can find our online version up at WQAD.com under the As Seen on TV tab. Just look for it at the top of the homepage. James.